Welcome to episode 11 of Discovering Nagasaki from a Local. My name is Chad, and this is where you can experience everyday life in this scenic and fascinating part of Japan. You may have noticed a change in my appearance. I've taken off my glasses to reduce the glare I get from my softbox lamps. I'd like to thank all the people who regularly watch my vlogs. So far, no one has been able to correctly answer last week's vlog questions. Richard Lempart was able to correctly answer the first question, and Daniel Hazen was able to correctly answer the second question. The first question was, what was the landscaping machine that was hanging on a rope next to the wasp nest I showed you? The answer is a weed eater, or kusakariki in Japanese. The second question was, how many ceramic owls did you see in the video I took of Hasami's pottery store? The answer is 4 ceramic owls. During the past week, the temperatures have thankfully gone down, and today the temperature is between 16 and 26 degrees Celsius. July and August are very hot in the high 30s, and the humidity here is more than 75%. This is a short video of a spider lily field in Nodaki near Omura. Higanbana, as they're called in Japanese, have red, white, and yellow blossoms. This has been a busy week for me. I managed to harvest a row of jute from the garden, and the leaves are now drying inside our house. When the jute is dry, we use a mill to create a fine powder, and then we filter it through a tea sieve. We use jute as an ingredient in some of our bread. I also brought a large load of garbage to the recycling center here in Omura. They have a modern facility near Nagasaki Airport. In today's 45-second kanji crash course, I want to introduce 15 more peripheral kanji particles. On the right side of more complex kanji are wall, seal, teacher, head, hen, moon. And above more complex kanji are horns, small, typical, tied up, house, flower, bamboo, net, and gather. In today's vlog, I will show you how to make delicious tempura in our kitchen, using vegetables from our garden. I will also take you on a short tour of Dejima Museum, one of Nagasaki's most significant historical sites. Dejima was inhabited by Dutch traders, and it was the only port in Japan open to foreign trade during the Sakoku, or seclusion period, a period of 214 years, from 1639 to 1853. Let's get started. This is how you make delicious crispy tempura. First of all, you need some vegetable oil for deep frying the tempura. Today I'm going to use slices of goya, bitter cucumber, and slices of kare, halibut. I'll also use some okra, some slices of paprika, togarashi peppers, onions, eggplants, and bell peppers. To make the tempura batter today, I've used 2 cups of flour and 1.5 cups of water, along with 2 pinches of salt. The secret to making crispy tempura is to use ice cubes in your batter and to leave some undissolved flour. This is the Hakuriki confectionery flour that I used today, and the shio, salt. Now I'm going to put a piece of eggplant into the batter. Soak it well, and then add it to the hot oil. And now I'll do the same thing with a piece of bell pepper. And let them deep fry. Now I'm going to add some okra. I've left these vegetables in the hot oil for about 4 minutes until they got brown. Now I'll transfer the tempura to a plate using this ladle sieve. The eggplant, okra, and the bell pepper. I'll use these long chopsticks to add more of the vegetables from the batter into the hot oil. As you can see, I've got some tempura drying on the plate. Now I'll remove some of the batter residue with the ladle sieve before I add some more battered veggies. I'll continue to add the vegetable pieces from the large plate I showed you before. Some onions, togarashi peppers, and some eggplants. I've left these veggies deep fry until they turn brown. Now I'll take out the paprika, the bell peppers, the togarashi, and the onions. I've added the remainder of the vegetables from the large plate, and now they're ready to come out of the fry pan. This time I'm going to use the large chopsticks to transfer them to the serving dish. Here's some paprika tempura and some eggplant tempura. Now I have the halibut and goya deep frying. They're ready now, so I'll transfer them to the serving plate using the ladle sieve. Now I've deep fried all of the tempura and I've turned off the stove. This is the goya, the okra, the eggplant, the togarashi pepper, the paprika, and the bell pepper from our garden. And voila! Delicious crispy tempura. I'm now standing on a bridge which is 3 tram stops south of Nagasaki's train station. On the right you can see the Nakashima River, which borders what used to be Dejima Island. The west entrance to Dejima Museum is up ahead on the left. I'll take you on a very short tour inside. Here's an inside view of the museum entrance gate and the ticket window. This is a tourist site map and the main street of Dejima Island. I'm going to give you a peek at the exhibits inside warehouse number 1 on Dejima. These multimedia exhibits show how Dejima was originally built and pictures of artifacts that were traded on this fan-shaped island. I'm now standing in front of warehouse number 3 on Dejima. There isn't much to see inside here, but there are burlap bags of cargo stacked on the floor, as well as wooden barrels. Near the wall are some of the confectionaries that were traded here, including castella and steamed buns. On the left you can see some of the grains and dry goods traded here. Now I'm going to show you the head clerk's quarters on Dejima. There are quite a few people inside, so I have to avoid walking into someone. On the left wall you can see some of the original trading records and documents that were kept here. Many of them in Japanese. Here you can see an antique camera on display, and on the right is an interesting antique clock. The display shows a doctor making a house call in Dejima, and here are dated versions of a hearing aid, a stethoscope, and a microscope. And here are some other antique clocks on display. Here's the foreman's room and copper warehouse. The first display shows the remains of a fireplace, and next to it is a display of a measuring apparatus for cargo. This building is the former Nagasaki International Club. It was built by Frederick Ringer in 1903 for Thomas Glover's son, Tomisabura. There is a small park right next to this building and a sign built in the year 2000 to celebrate 4 centuries of trade between Holland and Japan. Now I'll show you some of the archaeological room displays. It's a little bit dark in here, but it's well worth perusing. On display here are some of the broken pottery and artifacts from this trading port, like this large vase. Over here you can see pottery roof tiles on display. Here are some remnants of large urns, pitchers, and vases. Further on you can see jewelry, carvings, and even tobacco pipes. Inside this glass display cabinet you can see many other examples of broken pottery artifacts from Dejima. Upstairs you can see many fine examples of intact antique Japanese pottery on display. The last thing I'll show you today is the miniature recreation of Dejima on display here. This is what Dejima looked like after the Dutch moved here from Hirado's trading port about 380 years ago. Nagasaki plans to make this site an island again in the future. That's a great idea. And now for this week's challenging questions. First, which green vegetables did I make tempura with in today's cooking B-roll video? Second, what is the name of the river which borders the Dejima Museum in Nagasaki? Please continue to support my vlog channel by giving this vlog a thumbs up and by leaving a comment, a question, and/or a suggestion below. Feel free to point out relevant information that I have not included in my abbreviated videos. See you next week.